Today I'll be showing you how to get the most value out of Samurai. I'll start by going over each ability in the spellbook and giving tips before finishing with combo sequences at the end. Kasha combo is your 1 spam dealing 3, 4, and 5k potency with each strike. This combo is more important for Samurai than other jobs, so it's worth learning which are the first, second, and third strikes by their transformed effects from Hisatsu Soten. With 3 charges on a 10-second cooldown, dash up to 20 yards to an enemy dealing 4k damage to all targets in the line and granting Kaiten for 10 seconds, transforming your 1 combos into AoE versions with effects. The first is Hyosetsu, dealing 3k potency and binding all targets hit for 2 seconds. The second is Mongetsu, simply doubling the original 4k to 8k potency on all targets. And the third is Oka, dealing 5k potency to all targets and healing for 100% of the damage dealt. The bind will be very useful for landing either Madari or Ogi, securing kills in long fights, or allowing you to hold Minuchi for the KO. Mangetsu will let you pressure team fights, dipping in and out, while Oko will allow you to sustain longer when waiting for cooldowns. Ogi no Makiri is your main damage option, dealing 8k potency to all enemies and an 8-yard cone before you, granting an 8k potency shield when striking 2 or more targets, or dealing 50% extra damage if hitting a single target, then becoming Kaishi no Makiri, allowing a second instant use of the ability. The second strike has no buff associated with it and so has no duration limit, but be careful as using any other weapon skill will cancel this effect and reset the 20-second cooldown. You can position yourself with your target to easily influence the cone, choosing which effect you need with each cast. Being nearly on top of the enemy can give you a sharp angle for single target damage, while a further, wider shot can catch adjacent enemies to proc a shield. Hisatsu Chiiten is your defensive optional setup and LB prep on a 30-second cooldown, granting a shield for 5 seconds that reduces damage taken by 25%, dealing 2k damage to attackers and debuffing them with Kazushi for 3 seconds, increasing damage you deal to them by 25% and causing your LB Zentetsuken to instantly kill any inflicted targets hit by the strike. Chiiten can be a very powerful damage boost and mitigation while bursting, but you can also tie it with guard when fishing for LBs. The animation and icons are slightly similar and can sneak in some debuffs. Not to mention an early cancel can bait hits into Chiiten later on when the enemy is conditioned. Minuchi is your setup and CC, dealing 10% of the target's current HP through guard and inflicting a stun for 2 seconds on a 20-second cooldown. While Minuchi is a powerful opener that's hard to react to after a sudden Hisatsu Soten, engaging without it can give you an almost unstoppable KO closer when timed correctly. Meikyo Shisui is a 3-second buff that nullifies all status afflictions removed by Purify and grants Madari for 10 seconds on a 20-second cooldown. This changes the ability into your second damage option, Madari Setsugeka, for the duration, dealing 16k damage to a target within 8 yards after a 1.3 second cast. Meikyo can be an offensive utility, preventing CC during burst windows and the use of your LB with the 3 seconds of CC immunity, lining up with the Kazushi debuff duration from Chiiten. And finally, Zentetsuken is your LB, swiftly charging forward up to 20 yards to a target and dealing 24k potency to all targets within 5 yards, ignoring guard and instantly killing those with Kazushi. Note that it says swiftly charges forward, no matter how much it may seem like it should be instantly dash. Making this distinction will keep you alive and the enemy dead. There is a delay to the activation and completion, causing missed Kazushis, CC, and dying before finishing the animation, costing your LB bar with no return. Now I'll go over some combo sequences you can use in different situations. I will mention these are not the only way to play, only suggestions, and being flexible is always a stronger option. The engagement combo will start with a precast of Meikyo Shisui to grant CC immunity before engaging with Soten, using Minuchi to stun and cover your Madari Setsugeka cast, then using Chiiten in the OGCD window before Hyosetsu's bind to cover Ogi no Makiri's cast and Echo, ending with Soten and 1 combo spams for the KO. For example, in this combo, sometimes you would rather the Madari and Ogi damage be closer together and not delay to GCD for bind if the enemy is low enough or already CC'd. The next sequence is a max value damage combo when you're already engaged with your target and do not need to move, abusing dashes as only Mangetsu gains a potency increase. Starting with a precast of Meikyo, we roll our GCD for Mangetsu later on and use Chiiten, applying the Kazushi debuff for 25% increased damage for 3 seconds, while we dash into a Madari cast before dashing again into Ogi no Makiri, stunning in the brief window afterwards, and using Kaishi, dashing a final time before ending with your 8k potency Mangetsu. Again, these are options, and I will mention that for this combo, burning out every Soten charge without their combo use is generally not a good idea in the long run and should only be done if you really need a last play or are sure you're wiping most of the team. If you have any questions, I'll try to answer the best I can in the comments below. Thanks for watching, y'all have a good one.
Say what?
You're kidding.
That's all.